Hello learners! In this video, we will discuss all about simplifying rational expressions. Pero before tayo mag-proceed sa solving ng ating rational expressions, let us first define what is a rational algebraic expression. So we have here, a rational algebraic expression is an expression that is a quotient of two algebraic expressions. So basically, fraction siya, pero sa numerator and denominator ay ang meron na doon ay mga algebraic expressions, or in short, meron kang makikitang combination ng variables, coefficients, and constants. Now, let us proceed with the simplifying of rational algebraic expressions. And basically, in simplifying rational expressions na meron ng variable, the same lang yung concept na i-apply dito, okay, sa kung ano yung ginagawa natin or ginagamit nating method in simplifying fractions. So we have here, unang-una, identify mo muna yung mga factors ng ating numerator and denominator. So you should factor out the numerator and denominator completely. Okay, gaya ng ginagawa natin sa pag-simplify ng mga normal lamang ng mga fraction. And then, once you got the factors of the numerator and the denominator, pwede nang i-cancel out or i-divide yung mga common factor ng ating numerator and denominator para mapunta na siya sa kanyang simplified form. So again, dalawa yung ating need na gawin in simplifying rational expressions. First, i-factor muna completely ang expressions na nasa numerator and denominator. Pangalawa, i-cancel out yung mga common factors na makikita sa numerator and denominator. So we have here example number 1. Simplify 2x squared minus 13x plus 15 over 9 minus 4x squared. So ang una nating i-factor ay ang ating numerator. Now, as you can observe, our numerator here is a general trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Kasi hindi siya hindi siya perfect square trinomial because the first term is not a perfect square. Okay, dahil doon sa kanyang coefficient na 2. The same with its last term, hindi rin siya perfect square. So the best na method or the best factoring method na gagamitin natin dito ay yung factoring general trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So by doing that factoring method, we will now proceed to our step 1. So for the numerator, we will identify the values of our a and c. So for a, the coefficient of x squared, the value is equal to 2. Our constant c is equal to positive 15. And by getting their product, the product of a and c, we get 30. Now, after that, we will find the factors of the grouping number whose sum is b. I-factor out natin itong 30, identify natin lahat ng kanyang possible factors na kung saan, okay, sa huli, titignan natin kung aling factors ng 30 ang pag-i-add mo or pag kinumbine mo, the answer is b, or the middle term of our trinomial, which is dito, negative 13 dapat yung kanilang sum or pag pinagsama silang dalawa. Now here in the table, you can see the different factors of 30. Okay, we have positive values and the negative values of its factors. So now, titignan natin ngayon kung ano yung factors ni 30 na ang sum or pag-i-add natin, the answer is negative 13. So, yung negative 13 ng answer na pag kinumbine yung factors ni 30, yun ang mga factor na negative 10 and negative 3. Kasi diba, negative 10 plus negative 3, you get negative 13, which is the middle coefficient or the value of our b, okay, of the middle term. Now, after that, we will use the factors -10 and -3 to represent our middle term -13x as the sum of two terms. So, ang gagawin mo lang dyan, itong -10 and -3, lalagyan mo lang yan siya ng variable ng ating middle term, which is si x. And then, ipapakita lang natin na i-combine natin yung dalawa for us to show na equal yan siya sa -13x, which is yan, -13x, okay, is equal to -10x minus 3x. Now, pwedeng, pwedeng magpalit ng order yung -3x and -10x. Kasi the same lang naman yung result na ating makukuha. Now, since -10x minus 3x is equal to -13x, we will now substitute -10x minus 3x to our trinomial. So, tatanggalin natin si -13x and then ang ipapalit natin sa kanya ay yung dalawang factor na kung saan i-express natin yun siya as the sum of two terms. And then, after substituting doon sa ating middle term, ang gagawin natin ngayon ay we will use factoring by grouping for us to factor out completely yung ating trinomial, which is yung nasa numerator. Now, yung -13x naging yan, 2x squared plus the quantity of -10x minus 3x plus 15. And as you can observe, 2 and -10 ay may common factor. The same with -3 and 15. So therefore, yung dalawang magkasunod na binanggit natin, yun yung ating ipag-pair up. So magiging 2x squared minus 10x plus the quantity of -3x plus 15. Now, sa dalawang pair natin na ating terms, ipa-factor out na natin yung common monomial factors nila. So for the first pair, 2x squared minus 10x. For the coefficient, the greatest common factor of 2 and 10 is 2. Sa variable naman na x, the pinakamaliit na exponent ay 1. So therefore, our common monomial factor is 2x raised to the power of 1 or 2x. And then dividing both terms, okay, by 2x, we will get x minus 5. Now for the second pair, -3x plus 15, -3 lang, okay, a number lamang, an integer lamang yung ating common factor kasi walang variable na common na nakikita sa dalawang term. And the greatest common factor is -3. Now, ilalabas natin yung -3 and then divide both terms, okay, by -3. And yung may iwan ay x minus 5. Now, after that, yung dalawang makikita mong pareho dyan, which is yung x minus 5, ay pag-isahin natin, gawin nating iisa. And then, i-combine lang natin yung nasa labas na factors, okay, which is si 2x and -3. And yun yung magiging isang factor natin sa ating trinomial, yung combination nito, x and -3. Kaya magiging x minus 5 times the quantity of 2x minus 3. So yan yung ating factors ng numerator. Now, isubstitute na natin ngayon yung factors sa numerator natin sa mismong numerator natin dito kanina. Yan sa ating original na problem. Kaya magiging yan, x minus 5 times 2x minus 3 divided by 9 minus 4x squared. Now, tapos na natin ang numerator, so proceed na tayo sa ating denominator. The given is a binomial. Okay? Furthermore, both terms are perfect squares and the operation between the two terms is subtraction. Therefore, the pattern to be used in factoring the denominator is the difference of two squares. So again, bakit yun yung naisip nating method? Kasi first, satisfy yung ating condition na unang-una na binomial yung given. Pangalawa, parehong merong square root. And pangatlo, subtraction yung nasa gitna. Okay, yung operation nung dalawa. So therefore, again, we will use the difference of two squares na pattern. For our a squared, the value is equal to 9. Our b squared, the value is equal to 4x squared. And then, as we all know, yung pattern natin in factoring difference of two squares is a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b, a minus b. So yung a plus b times a minus b yung ating magiging final answer. Substitute natin yung a squared and b squared, magiging 9 minus 4x squared. And then by getting the square root of a squared and b squared, which is the square root of 9 and 4x squared, isa-substitute natin yun siya doon sa right side ng ating equation, which is yung kanyang factored form na a plus b times a minus b. So the square root of our a squared, which is 9, is equal to 3. Kaya 3 yung dalawang nilagay natin sa harap dito sa may a. And for our b, square root of 4x squared is 2x. Kaya sinubstitute natin sa b natin itong 2x. Therefore, the factored form of 9 minus 4x squared is 3 plus 2x times 3 minus 2x. Now, so substitute natin yun siya dito sa ating denominator, and we will divide or cancel out now the common factors of the numerator and denominator. Pero, kung papansin ninyo, walang common factors pa. But, you can observe that 2x minus 3 and 3 minus 2x ay magkabaliktad yung sign ng bawat term na pareho sa kanilang dalawa. Kagaya ni negative 3 dito sa taas sa numerator and dito positive. Tapos dito naman sa kabila, sa 2x naman, positive yung sa numerator pero negative yung sign ng nasa baba. And since mag-opposite ng sign yung bawat term ng dalawang factor na yan, therefore, ang tawag natin sa kanila dyan, okay, ay silang dalawa ay additive inverse ng isa't isa. Now, pwede natin yung silang makancel. Kasi, since additive inverse yung dalawa, meaning, tatanggalan lang natin ng negative 1 yung kahit saan sa kanilang dalawa dyan. Okay, kahit saan. Pwede yung numerator na 2x minus 3, tanggalan natin ng negative 1. Pwede rin ang denominator natin na 3 minus 2x ang tanggalan ng negative 1 para maging pareho na sila ng sign, yung bawat term. Now, bakit hindi natin ginalaw yung 3 plus 2x? Hindi natin ginalaw yung 3 plus 2x kasi hindi mag-opposite ng sign ang 2x. Pero dito, sa dalawang factor na ito, mag-opposite talaga ang sign ng bawat term. And then, since pwede natin tanggalan ng negative 1 ang kahit saan sa kanilang dalawa, ang tinanggalan natin ng negative 1 ay yung nasa numerator. Kaya, nag-change na yung sign, naging negative 2x plus 3. And yung negative 1 or yung negative sign na lang yung ating nilagay is nandito na sa katabi ng x minus 5 natin na factor. And as you can observe, yung ating negative 2x plus 3, pag i-rearrange mo yun siya, magiging 3 minus 2x, which is pareho nung nasa denominator natin. And since pareho silang dalawa na factor, so we will cancel out both of them. Kaya, ang naiwan na lamang ay negative times the negative 1 times the quantity of x minus 5 divided by 3 plus 2x. So pwede mong i-distribute yung negative sign sa loob para maging negative x plus 5 over 3 plus 2x. Pwede na ring hindi. Okay? Both are still correct. Now, next, we have here, simplify x squared minus 5x plus 6 over x squared plus x minus 6. So again, unahin natin ang numerator. And as you can observe, yung ating leading coefficient ay 1. And then yung ating last term ay hindi perfect square. So therefore, we will use the factoring method na factoring general trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Now, yung ating x squared or yung first term natin, kunin lang natin yung square root which is equal to x. Kaya siya yung magiging first term sa dalawang factor ng ating trinomial. Next, we will take a look at the constant. Now we will take a look at the constant. And the constant here is positive 6. Now after that, we will proceed now to step 3, which is we will look for all the possible factors of the constant, which is yung ating 6. Naman, meron tayo dito, as you can observe, yung kanyang positive factors and negative factors. Okay, 3 and 2, negative 3 and negative 2, 6 and 1, then negative 6 and negative 1. Now, ang gagawin na lang natin ngayon is to identify if saang factors ng 6 ang pag-i-add natin or i-combine, the answer will be equal to negative 5. Na kung titignan natin yung table kanina, the pair of factors of 6 whose sum is negative 5 or negative 3 and negative 2. And since yan yung ating factors na ang sum is yung middle term, yung coefficient natin na middle term, therefore, yung negative 3 and negative 2 yung ating i-combine with the two factors kanina dito, yung dalawang x, kaya magiging x minus 3, x minus 2. Ipapalit na natin ngayon yan siya sa ating numerator, kaya magiging x minus 3 times x minus 2 divided by x squared plus x minus 6. Now, sa denominator naman tayo mag-factor. Still the same trinomial pa rin, or I mean the same factoring method pa rin yung ating gagamitin. So getting the square root of x squared, we have here x. Kaya yung first term ng ating dalawang factor ay x. Next, the constant is negative 6. And yung factors ng negative 6, okay, are, we have here negative 3 and 2, 3 and negative 2, 6 and negative 1, at saka negative 6 and positive 1. Now, titignan natin ngayon dito kung saan sa kanyang factors, okay, factors ng negative 6, ang pag-add natin, the answer will be the middle term. Okay, the coefficient of the middle term which is equal to 1. And yung factors na yun, na pag-i-add natin ay positive 1 yung answer, ay ang factors na 3 and negative 2. Kaya yan yung ating i-combine with our x here na first term natin ng dalawang factors to get the factored form of our denominator. We have x plus 3 and then x minus 2. Now, after nyan, isubstitute na natin siya sa denominator ngayon and ika-cancel out na natin yung common factors ng dalawa, which is, as you can observe, yung ating dalawang x minus 2. And since wala nang pwedeng ma-cancel out and factored out na rin yung ating given algebraic rational expression, and so therefore, our final answer is x minus 3 over x plus 3. Now, we have our last example. We have here simplify 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 divided by 4x squared minus 1. So for our numerator, as you can see, it is a trinomial. It is a general trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So yun yung gagamitin nating factoring method. And yung method na gagamitin natin na naman ay ang ating grouping number method. So our a is equal to 2 and our c, the constant, is equal to negative 3. Getting their product, we get negative 6. Now, kunin natin yung factors ni negative 6 and titignan natin kung saan yung factors or kung ano-ano yung factors ng negative 6 na pag-i-add natin, the answer will be equal to 5, which is the middle term, okay, the coefficient of our middle term or yung ating b. So ito yung lahat ng factors ng negative 6 and yung factors ng negative 6 whose sum is 5 or -1, and 6. And after that, we'll use these factors, okay, -1 and 6, to write bx as the sum of two terms. And dito, yung tawag niyan, yung ating variable na middle term ay x lamang. So, x lang din ang idudugtong natin kay -1 and 6. Kaya magiging, we have here, 5x is equal to 6x minus 1 or minus x. Now, since we all know that 6x minus x is equal to 5x, we will substitute 6x minus x to the trinomial. And after that, after substituting yung ating dalawang factors na ang sum is 5x, we will use factoring by grouping para ma-factor out natin completely yung ating trinomial. We have here 2x squared plus the quantity of 6x minus x minus 3. And sa unang tingin pa lang, you can already see na kung ano yung mga possible na factors na ating ipag-prepare up, possible terms na ating ipag-prepare up. And yung ating i-prepare dito ay si 2x squared tsaka negative x, tapos si 6x and negative 3. And then, by removing the common factors for the first pair, which is equal to x, okay, by removing x, ang may iwan na lamang ay 2x minus 1. Kay 6x minus 3 naman na pair, 3 lang, okay, the greatest common factor is 3. So therefore, 3 lang yung ating ilalabas, and by dividing both terms by 3, ang maiiwan ay 2x minus 1. And then, yung dalawang 2x minus 1, pag-isahin, para yan yung isang factor na ating trinomial. Pagkatapos yung isang factor naman is yung combination ng dalawang common monomial factor, which is si x and positive 3. So, this will be the factors of our numerator. Now, ilalagay na natin yan siya sa ating numerator na yan. And the denominator na naman ngayon yung ating i-factor out. Still, yung ating denominator ay isang binomial. Yung sign sa gitna ay minus sign. And last, merong square root ang dalawang term na given natin sa ating binomial. So therefore, our pattern na gagamitin, okay, the factoring method is yung difference of two squares. And yung a squared natin, which is yung pinakaunang term, equal to 4x squared. B squared natin, which is yung pangalawang term, which is equal to 1. Now, kukunin natin yung kanilang square root, okay, yung square root ng isa't isa, and then isa-substitute natin dito sa ating formula na a plus b times a minus b, okay, dito sa ating pattern, para ma-factor out natin completely itong denominator. Now, getting the square root of 4x squared, we have 2x. And then getting the square root of 1, we have 1. So ito yung factor ng ating denominator. Okay, ito yung factored form ng ating denominator. And then i-substitute natin yung ating factored form ng denominator, yan, para ma-cancel out natin yung mga common factors, which are dalawang 2x minus 1. And since wala na ibang pwedeng ma-cancel out, therefore, yung simplified form ng ating fraction is x plus 3 over 2x plus 1.